Good morning, I was going to say, but it's 12:13 p.m. Eastern here, Friday, June 27th. And last night we talked about Derwood, and I said I would do a members live, so here we are. Or live, members only video rather. I'm going to do a reading on what Derwood actually knows. But I want you to know that I do believe he's involved. You may recall when I had my first vision, I've had two visions with Jack and Lily. The first one was of them being walked in a field. I was probably a person native now that I look back on it, with long hair, skinny, wearing like a tank top, jeans, and walking Jack and Lily in a farming field. And I asked Jack who was leading them, and he said, Uncle Larry. And where are you going? His barn. And I told the police officer that I've been talking to in the crime unit that I 1000% believe this person is either a mechanic or works with tools, because the very first part of my vision that they showed me was the mechanic's grease all over his hands, like just dirt all over his hands. And the officer that I've been talking to said, but with respect to the barn, I said he's 1000% mechanic or works a lot on vehicles. And then the officer asked me, did I think that the barn was real or fictitious? I said, I don't know. And then Derwood went in on the live on It's Crime and Shame a couple nights ago. I think it might have been Monday night or the day my dad passed. I'm not sure. But it was that video that I listened to when I laid down at my daughter's house, because I didn't want to be alone after my dad's passing, and put an earbud in and laid down, and I started listening to It's a Crime and Shame in the dark. And when he said, I came out from around my barn, I was working on my tools, like my old junk back in the barn, every fiber in my body went, oh my God, he's the murderer. I just got validation right now. So I don't want to go and say those things on public forum, but I really think he's one of the players. I initially thought maybe he was, and even until last night, until after I got off the live, that thought maybe he was the person that was in the car and met the gentleman in my vision that was walking with them in the field. And I did tell police, I think there's two people. I think there was a person that picked them up and took them, and the second person got involved, and I think that was Derwood. And I think the kids took them somewhere they thought would be safe. Because one of the energies that I picked up on, which I didn't talk about, was when I was looking for the location and the pendulum, I just picked up like this person that was a pedophile, potentially, really tried not to do anything to them, really tried to withhold his urges or not succumb to his urges, and was not able to. And so that's just what I'm picking up. So let's see what the cards say. So, if I'm wrong, my apologies to Derwood, but I don't know. Let's see what the cards say. I don't feel wrong. Okay, so what does Derwood really know? What's Derwood's involvement in this spirit? What is this Derwood's knowledge? What's his involvement? Premeditated. Oh my God. And couple. Premeditated. It's funny, that came out when I was saging. Took me a while to get the air clear in here because I'm feeling really down, and I've been crying with my dad's passing, and So yeah, so yeah, that was the card that flipped when I was preparing. It's the premeditated. What does Derwood know? Corrupted media source. Derwood is not telling us the truth. He is corrupting the evidence. He's corrupting the storyline. What does Derwood know, please, Spirit? What does Derwood know? What's his involvement? Delays and distractions in the investigation. Look at the change in directions. They're trying to get everybody to steer everybody away from the facts. He's trying to get everybody to steer away from the facts. What does Derwood know? What does Derwood know? That the law enforcement are looking after him, listening to him, watching. He might be known to law enforcement. I don't know if it's even his last name. And I saw a comment on why would he come forward? He's now been kicked out of his home and all that stuff. Maybe if he's innocent, if I'm right about him, that's all presumed to be not necessarily factual. If what I feel about him is accurate, I don't even think his name is Darin or Derwood. Okay. So whether or not, oh, and then right after that statement about coming out of the barn, an old abandoned property he used to own. Which is why potentially I'm like, I'm not sure if it's like an old abandoned property he used to own. So why is he homeless? Why, if he owns it or he owns it, he said he still owns, why wouldn't he just go there? Something's not adding up with Derwood. What else does Derwood know? What else does Derwood know? What was Derwood's involvement? What was Derwood's involvement? I'm just going to try another deck. We're just going to keep going here. But I'd like this opinion of mine to remain confidential in members. So please do not, going forward, all these members' tarot readings are to be kept to the members only and not disclosed in the lives in the public's forums, please. What does Derwood know? What is Derwood's involvement, please, Spirit? Five and Six of Wands. Overcoming conflict, successfully overcoming problems. Derwood, I guess he feels that he's been successful in escaping questioning, staying out of the fights. I'm not sure, but this is the fighting, conflict, arguments, and this is successfully overcoming those arguments. So I guess Derwood believes they've been successful in whatever his involvement is in diverting the story and keeping law enforcement at bay. Okay, let's get some more. What does Derwood know that he's not telling us? This card flipped over. Some hiding and some backstabbing. Uh-oh. Two that were upside down that flipped over in the deck. This is hidden, backstabbing, betrayal. And the sun represents healing, happiness, and kids. Backstabbing and betrayal with respect to the kids. What else does Derwood know? Let's get another deck. The kids are no longer with us. This is a bouquet of flowers buried under some flowers. What else does Derwood know? Where these kids are. Hidden location. There's the compass. Hidden location. He knows where they are. What else does Derwood know? Another deck. He knows what they are, where they are, rather, what they are, what has become of them. What does Derwood know? There we go again. Sun card and fighting. Fighting. There's the child on the sun card. Sun represents childhood, innocence, children. Fighting over the children. Fighting over the children. Let me get some more. Another deck. What does Derwood know? What does Derwood know? Too many fell out. Too many fell out. What does Derwood know? On the floor, November. Something happened in November. Recognition, reward for merit. Go back to the basics. What does Derwood know? Derwood knows the basic information. Interesting that there was a reward. Like Derwood wants to be recognized. Derwood wants to be recognized. Why does Derwood want to be recognized? Why does Derwood want to be recognized? Ten of Wands, some hidden burden he's carrying. A hidden burden he's carrying. And he wants to be recognized. The next card was the Devil. What does Derwood know? What's Derwood's involvement? I'm going to go to that now. I'm going to pull up the Whispers of the Unsolved by the creator of the Reckoning channel. Her name's Ashley. What's Derwood's involvement? This is, I have to do it in 2 shuffles. What's Derwood's involvement? What's Derwood's involvement? Angels in reverse. Upside down caregiver. Hidden person that was to take care of them. He was the hidden person that was to take care of them. And now they're not with us. What's Derwood's involvement? What's Derwood's involvement? Rival competition. Derwood's involvement is in the middle of the fight. In the middle of the fight, a hidden caregiver. Was he the one that was supposed to watch the kids and couldn't succumb to his own urges? That's what I picked up on the person, whether that's Derwood or not. Some sort of embezzlement, money issues. Interesting. Interesting. See if we can get one more. What is Derwood's involvement? A gift and a package. Somebody gave him a gift. This is what I'm picking up. Yeah. And faked death, new life. And that everything is collapsed. Everything collapsed. I think there was supposed to be the kids handed off. Like I said, we're going to hold them until you return, Malaya, what you owe us, or until you stop talking. We're going to hold this over your head. And then I believe that's the visual I saw of the guy walking with them to Uncle Larry's barn, that he was supposed to be their hidden, unknown caregiver. And something then changed. And he was that their package and gift was their delivery to him. I think whoever took them to Derwood probably knew, if I'm correct around him, or if it's another energy or person, that they had predisposition towards some unhealthy habits with children. Fake death, collapse. The case is collapsing. I think that there was a fake death planned. and it went awry by his own words. They were to be taken temporarily and maybe something happened. So let's get a couple more, please, Spirit, with what does Derwood know? What does Derwood know? What was Derwood's involvement? What was Derwood's involvement? Or is? Somebody promised him some good fortune. A gift again, a box. It's really interesting because I told the police I see some sort of a box with a lock on it. Broken bridge. He's broken the ties. Unsuccessful outcome to a problem. What's Darin's involvement? Take care. There'll be a loss of material wealth. Shark. Derek's involvement with somebody that's a shark. Trying to get another couple of clarifiers, like more specifically, what was Derwood's involvement, if anything, in this case? I mean, I think there is involvement. These ones that I had just shuffled came back out. Hidden lovers. King of Cups. Derwood's involvement, hiding the situation between Malaya and Daniel, I would guess. I think maybe if Derwood is who he says he is, a relative of Malaya's, and his son worked with Daniel, he seems to have a greater allegiance. Maybe he's like playing both sides of the story. Let's see if we can get a couple more on Derwood. What's Derwood's involvement, please? A hidden supplier. A hidden supplier. Male hidden supplier. Cover up. There you got it. Covering up the real story on a hidden supplier, and there's some sort of a male there. Yeah. I think that'll be it for now. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed this members live. Tell me what you think. What do you think of Derwood? Darin, Garrett, Geddes, whoever this gentleman may be. What are your thoughts on him? Thank you. Love and light.